Welcome to the Success in Africa podcast with Dr. Modupe, your weekly dose of leadership vitamins to make you successful in Africa.
Hello and welcome to the Success in Africa podcast, episode 20. My name is Dr. Modupe Taylor-Pierce, and I am a scholar and practitioner of leadership and organizational development. Simply put, I study what makes people successful. I have been doing this for 3 decades with a particular focus on people in Africa. And in this podcast, I will share with you stories, lessons, and insights about people experiencing success in Africa. Why this podcast? Because I am sick and tired of Africa being the poorest continent in the world. We are blessed with the greatest resource, that is young people. Africa will soon have the largest number of working age people in the world. And when these people achieve success, Africa's wealth will be unparalleled. Why? Because I don't know of too many Africans whose goal in life it is to die poor. You see, success in life is simply the achievement of a predetermined goal. Whether that goal is owning a house and a car, or creating employment for 50 people, or transforming your country into a high-income country, this podcast has been created to help you to achieve it. So if you are serious about achieving success in Africa, I want you to subscribe to this channel. If you like the video after you've watched it, please click the like button. This podcast is brought to you courtesy of BCA Leadership, the largest leadership enhancement company in Africa. If you have questions that you want me to answer after watching this video, log on to BCA Online, the link is on the screen, and post your questions there. That is where I will respond to your questions. Today, we're continuing with our series on success in the nonprofit sector, and I am especially excited and nervous to share today's success tip because the subject of today's podcast is a man whose impact has been so transformational in Africa that it would require 12 episodes of this podcast to explore all of the success tips that his journey has illustrated. He is a household name today in the world of education, Africa, and global change. This man is the Ghanaian icon, Mr. Patrick Awuah, the founder of Ashesi University, Africa's most sought-after college. Patrick left Ghana in 1985 to attend Swarthmore College on a full scholarship, after which he worked for Microsoft Corporation as an engineer and as a program manager for 8 years. Experiencing firsthand the dramatic impact that education can have on one's life, Awuah embarked on a mission in 1997 to provide greater educational opportunities in Ghana. First, he enrolled in business school in the US to evaluate the feasibility of his goal and to gain a broader range of managerial skills with which to found and manage a university. In 1997, Patrick gave up a successful US software career to return to Africa with a vision of bringing ethics, innovation, and entrepreneurship to Africa. And to achieve this, he decided to create a new kind of African university. This man had big vision. He and some graduate students from UC Berkeley conducted a feasibility study for the new private university in Ghana in 1998, and in 1999 he founded the Ashesi University Foundation with a board of trustees and management governance whose efforts are complemented by the advisory boards located in the US and in Ghana. For those of you who watched previous podcasts, note how Patrick was making sure that he created a village to raise this organization. You see, this ensured that there was a trusted vehicle that would do the fundraising for the university and also give the organization the credibility that was required for donors to be able to entrust significant funds to the university. In 2002, Ashesi University admitted its first students and conducted classes in a rented house that it converted to classrooms with an inaugural class of 30 students. This inaugural class graduated in 2005, with all of them finding jobs quickly after graduation, and all but 2 of them staying in Africa. By 2007, a research study conducted by UC Berkeley found that local and multinational employers rated Ashesi University and its graduates #1 in Ghana in terms of quality of curriculum, career preparation, communication skills, maturity, professional skills, and ethics. But Patrick did not stop there. He wanted to ensure that character was intrinsic in all of his graduates. The university was intentional about infusing integrity into all aspects of its operations. And in 2008, the students of Ashesi voted to adopt an examination honor code, the first of its kind in Africa. Under this code, examinations at Ashesi no longer required or had invigilators. The students self-policed themselves to maintain integrity in their exam rooms and committed to report any infringements on optimal exam room behavior. Today, Ashesi is not only the most desired university in Ghana, it is the most desired university in Africa. Multinational companies compete for the privilege of hiring Ashesi University graduates, and the university is now partly funded by the MasterCard Foundation to export its best practices to other universities in Africa. See, folks, having a conversation with Patrick Awuah is like attending a master class in leadership. In 2023, at the annual Made in Africa Leadership Conference, Patrick gave insights on the state of education in Africa today and in the future. The session was attended by some of the brightest and accomplished African thinkers and leaders, and the most common comment I had after the session was, "Wow, I have learned so much and can learn so much more from this man." As I personally struggle to distill what we can learn from Patrick's journey, I was aided by a helpful YouTube video that distilled it into 10 things, and I'm going to present them here in my interpretation of each of them. You see, 10 keys to success that Patrick has demonstrated in doing the hard things, like creating a university in Africa that within the space of less than 3 decades not only becomes the most sought after university in Africa, but also is able to create such a brand that international NGOs are funding that university to export its best practices to other universities. 10 things. Number 1, courage. See, Patrick demonstrated immense courage. 1, he left a comfortable situation. That takes courage. 2, he went back to Africa. That takes courage. 3, he tackled a big problem. That takes courage. You see, as leaders, to be successful, if you want to do business in Africa, you have to learn to overcome your fear. It is not to say that you will not have fear, but you have to learn to overcome it, because courage is what allows us to be innovative, to be inventive, to be kind, to be generous. And Patrick has demonstrated courage. Number 2, transparency. You see, in Ashesi University, they share their information. They even, the staff, the faculty, they know about the financial situation of the organization. He is transparent about what is happening, the good, the bad, the ugly. And people need to believe that they are trusted and they can trust you with the information that tells them about the health of the organization that you are asking them to invest their time, talents, and treasure into. That's number 2, transparency. Number 3, continuous learning through reading. You see, Patrick is a reader. He is so knowledgeable because he loves to read. And when you read, you expand your mind with ideas. And this is important for us as leaders, because no matter how well you think you know Africa, or how well you think you know the industry that you want to open businesses in Africa, there is going to be more for you to learn. So that's number 3, continuous learning through reading. Number 4, open-minded. You have to be open-minded, be willing to challenge your own ideas, your own preconceptions, your own mindset. And in order to do that, you have to develop the habit of asking lots and lots of questions. This is something that Patrick had to do. Patrick didn't know anything about running a university when he was in the States. That wasn't his major. That wasn't what he knew. And he certainly didn't know much about running a business in Ghana. But because he learned to ask a lot of questions and was open-minded, he has become successful. Number 5, confidence. You have got to have some confidence. Okay, we've talked about this in previous sessions. You've got to believe in the power of your ideas. You have to be willing to believe in it, even when sometimes there will be people who love you, who are friends with you, who may tell you, Patrick, university, that's a big thing to try to go after. But you have to have the confidence. And he had the confidence and demonstrated the courage to be able to push through. Number 6, excellence. Excellence is important. It is so critically important in Africa. The reason why Ashesi University students are sought after is because from the beginning, Patrick sought to do things with excellence. Whatever you are doing in Africa, do it well. Do it to the best of your ability. Don't do it halfway because, they are not paying me for this, or they are not paying me enough for this, or whatever excuse you want to give. Make sure that your brand, your personal brand, your company brand is associated with doing things with excellence. Number 7, this is one of my favorites. Just start. Just start. Whatever you can do or dream that you can do, begin it. You see, boldness has genius power and magic in it. Begin it now. Too many of us are waiting for something, whatever that thing is. I need the money, I need the funding, I need more knowledge, or I need more this, or I need the contacts. Just start. Bloom where you're planted. Just get going, because traction attracts resources. Number 8, stand your ground. When Patrick came to start a university in Ghana, as you can imagine, there were lots and lots of things that Ashesi University had to get, whether it's regulators or be able to get permission to do this. And at every point, he was asked for a bribe. He made it clear from the get-go that they were not going to do that. Did it mean that he got delayed sometimes? Yes, it did. But by standing his ground, he established a brand promise to the entire community that Ashesi University and its agencies do not pay bribes. Today, they don't get even bothered with that. Number 9, be creative. Be creative. You see, the ability to create is the most empowering thing that can happen to any individual. And every entrepreneur understands this, because what you're trying to do is to create something out of nothing, to create a business out of just an idea in your head. Be creative. That process requires you to be creative, to be curious, to be willing to try things, to be bold. Yes, so be creative. And Patrick has definitely been creative in the way they're doing things. Even the examination honor code is very creative in Africa because it had never been done before. And lastly, character. Now, character is really, it comes down to the integrity, okay? Be trustworthy. Be a person whose word is his or her bond. Do what you say what you'll do. If plans are going to change, notify the person. Make sure that people can trust in what you say and what you do, because that is where character comes in. It's doing the right thing even when you think you could get away with doing the wrong thing. So these are the 10 success principles that I have distilled from Patrick's journey. I hope that you'll remember them. Let me go over them very quickly again. Number 1, courage. Number 2, transparency. Number 3, continuous learning through reading. Number 4, be open-minded. Number 5, confidence. Number 6, excellence. Number 7, just start. Number 8, stand your ground. Number 9, be creative. And number 10, character matters. We've come to the end of today's podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned something from the journey of Patrick Awuah, founder of Ashesi University. I look forward to reading your comments and feedback about this podcast. Next week, I will share with you another key to achieving success in Africa. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and tell your friends about it. Together, we can transform our beloved continent. I'll see you next week.
Tomorrow belongs to those people who prepare for it today. See you next week.